Hello and welcome back to another video on Magic Life Sims development and my undergraduate comp sci capstone project. As my final semester is coming down to the wire, it's time for me to start switching from a careful, long-term planning style of work to a get as much done as if it's a game jam style of work. So with that, let's get into everything I worked on last week. I decided to start giving the demo level another pass. The big change is a switch from a giant mesh to a height map based terrain. From what I found online, it's a little hard to say whether a terrain collider is better than a mesh collider, as there's a lot of factors that go on with that. So eventually we'll need to figure this out by doing some profiling, but for now we can kick that down the road. For now, we get two big advantages. One, it's a lot easier to make terrain in-engine, and two, we get texture blending. Now that we can adjust our level's height, let's put the water shader to some good use finally and make a little pond. We won't be adding a swim animation for now, and that's totally not because I forgot about it until editing. Just imagine you've got a potion of sinking always active. Something doesn't quite feel right though, because when you're underwater you should be moving slower. However, I want to keep the upward part of the jump intact, that way the player isn't in total slow motion and that they can keep some of their original controls. So how should we go about implementing this? This is just the first modifier I have in mind, and it's already pretty specific. Integrating this directly into the player's finite state machine would only complicate things down the road and make things messy. Instead, we'll intercept the velocity value right before it gets applied to the rigid body. We'll have two interfaces, an eye movement modifiable, which lets you add or move a modifier, and eye movement modifier, which defines the specific modifications to the player movement. When the player enters the underwater collider, we'll apply the modifier and remove it when on-trigger exit gets called. Eye movement modifier will have a function that takes in a velocity, modifies it through a ref, and then return a boolean. Some modifiers should expire over a period of time, so the return value's job is to tell the player controller whether or not to remove that modifier. So I whipped up a speed boost region that expires automatically after a second. Now, to avoid the scenario where a player goes in and out of the boost modifier really quickly to build up a lot of speed, we'll store all of our modifiers in a dictionary. That way, when a player enters and leaves and re-enters, the old modifier just gets replaced. Although it is pretty funny whenever you do this. Another area of the game I worked on was getting Pack Rat ready for the demo, which means we're doing a UI pass as well for the hotbar. Since Pack Rat is just a list of slots, our hotbar manager just needs to take the first n amount of slots, in this case 10, or how many UI objects it's managing. We'll also create a slot manager to handle the icon and quantity text, and most importantly, the null state, where nothing is assigned to that slot. While we're here, we might as well add support for active slots and items. We'll expose a variable for the active slot along with its index. But let's say we don't start the game with a bug net. We'll need the ability to collect nearby items. I've set up two trigger areas, one that will enable objects to start moving towards the player, while the other one handles the actual collection and adding it to the inventory. To wrap it up for collectible items, let's add in creature collecting. I've had this empty eye collectible interface for a while, and it's finally time to put it to some use. All Pack Rat needs in order to store an item is the ability to describe it as an item instance. The rest is entity specific, and that's outside the scope of the demo, but what I do consider in scope is making the little icons for everything. With my semester winding down, I figured I would talk about it while having some work going on in the background. I've got about a month left, and I'm starting to get details on my finals. I've actually already turned in my proposal for my humanities presentation, and I'm safely on track to just pass my last computer science class, even if I just don't do anything. Marketing class will require a bit more of a time investment, as the goal is to produce a product and do a marketing pitch. I heard out a group's plan and decided to jump on board, and they're creating an app, so I'm fully in charge of making a prototype, which is pretty easy. I've got some old abandoned iOS apps, so I'm pretty confident I can throw something together in class. Aside from all that, things are looking pretty good on the school front. When I was writing the script for this video, I actually ended up ordering my cap and gown at the same time. It's starting to feel a little surreal, especially since I decided not to walk at my community college graduation, which was like 10 years ago. There was a lot of negative factors back then, and one of them has to do with my big project class. This project had 10 people, no version control, and a whole host of issues. After some long overdue therapy and processing, I've come to realize that experience was the source of me slowly growing, slowly losing that spark with game dev, despite holding on to it for dear life. I remember derailing all of my classes and pulling way too many all-nighters just to get it playable. Somehow we got it working for a conference. That conference ended up pushing our deadline back by a few weeks. I remember touching base with my professor to let him know, hey, this was pretty much hell for everyone, and one of my close friends even had to step away for a while for medical reasons. Only temporarily though, as grading was completely up in the air for this class, which was unfortunately anxiety-inducing enough for them. The professor interrupted me while I was giving my opinion about everything that has happened, and he just straight up told me I should just quit. I should just quit game dev. I really didn't know what to say, and in hindsight, I should have escalated things to his superior about the cruelty of the class, and I should have just brought my entire team just to go talk to his superior. A couple months after graduation, we found out that he had actually founded a studio back in the day, and that studio ended up dying, and I can't help but think it was for similar leadership styles. When I was applying to go back to college, I dreaded having to send that email to him just for a letter of recommendation, and his supervisor actually intercepted that email because he no longer worked there, and that the department was killed off. I still feel very mixed about it, as I don't want other people to go through that experience with him, but at the same front, my first ever professor in college, he worked so hard to build and improve and maintain that department before he had to leave. That all being said, I'm really glad I've been able to come back and rediscover my love for game development. If you're a student being overly pressured by a professor, please reach out and talk to someone else. When you're in that bubble for so long, it's so easy to forget just how insane everything around you has gotten. And sometimes just talking to someone else can give you that clarity. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in, and you've got to be careful, especially in the creative industry where exploitation is way too common. My other piece of advice is go do therapy. It's wonderful. It's worked so well for me. I've been wanting to share this for a while now, especially with graduation getting closer and closer and having a lot of things on my mind. It's important to talk about the tough things from time to time, and I hope that this connects with someone and hopefully it helps them out. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching the development of Magic Life Sim. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.